Many U.S.-made satellite-guided munitions in Ukraine have failed to withstand Russian jamming technology, prompting Kyiv to stop using certain types of Western-provided armaments after effectiveness rates plummeted, according to senior Ukrainian military officials and confidential internal Ukrainian assessments obtained by The Washington Post. Russia's jamming of the guidance systems of modern Western weapons, including Excalibur GPS-guided artillery shells and the High Mobility Artillery Rocket System, or HIMARS, which can fire some U.S.-made rockets with a range of up to 50 miles, has eroded Ukraine's ability to defend its territory and has left officials in Kyiv urgently seeking help from the Pentagon to obtain upgrades from arms manufacturers. Russia's ability to combat the high-tech munitions has far-reaching implications for Ukraine and its Western supporters, potentially providing a blueprint for adversaries such as China and Iran. And it is a key reason Moscow's forces have regained the initiative and are advancing on the battlefield. The success rate for the U.S.-designed Excalibur shells, for example, fell sharply over a period of months to less than 10% hitting their targets, before Ukraine's military abandoned them last year, according to the confidential Ukrainian assessments. While other news accounts have described Russia's superior electronic warfare capabilities, the documents obtained by the Post include previously unreported details on the extent to which Russian jamming has thwarted Western weaponry. The Excalibur technology in existing versions has lost its potential, the assessments found, adding that battlefield experience in Ukraine had disproved its reputation as a one-shot, one-target weapon, at least until the Pentagon and U.S. manufacturers address the issue. 6 months ago, after Ukrainians reported the problem, Washington simply stopped providing Excalibur shells because of the high failure rate, the Ukrainian official said, speaking on the condition of anonymity to discuss a sensitive security matter. In other cases, such as aircraft drop bombs called JDAMs, the manufacturer provided a patch and Ukraine continues to use them. Ukraine's military command prepared the reports between fall 2023 and April 2024 and shared them with the U.S. and other supporters, hoping to develop solutions and open up direct contact with weapons manufacturers. In interviews, Ukrainian officials described an overly bureaucratic process that they said had complicated a path toward urgently needed adjustments to improve the failing weaponry. The officials agreed to answer questions about the assessments in hopes of drawing attention to the Ukrainian military's needs. Several Ukrainian and U.S. officials interviewed for this story spoke on the condition of anonymity due to the sensitivity of the issue. The Pentagon anticipated that some precision-guided munitions would be defeated by Russian electronic warfare and had to work with Ukraine to hone tactics and techniques, a senior U.S. defense official said. Russia has continued to expand their use of electronic warfare, the senior U.S. official said, and we continue to evolve and make sure that Ukraine has the capabilities they need to be effective. The U.S. defense official rejected claims that bureaucracy has slowed the response. The Pentagon and weapons manufacturers have provided solutions sometimes within hours or days, the official said, but did not provide examples. Ukraine's defense ministry, in a statement, said that it cooperates regularly with the Pentagon and also communicates directly with weapons manufacturers. We work closely with the Pentagon on such matters. In the event of technical problems, we promptly inform our partners to take the necessary measures to solve them in a timely manner, the ministry said. Our partners from the USA and other Western countries provide constant support for our requests. In particular, we regularly receive recommendations to improve the equipment. U.S.-made guided munitions provided to Ukraine typically were successful when introduced, but often became less so as Russian forces adapted. Now, some arms once considered potent tools no longer provide an edge. In a conventional war, the U.S. military might not face the same difficulties as Ukraine because it has a more advanced air force and robust electronic countermeasures. But Russia's capabilities nonetheless put heavy pressure on Washington and its NATO allies to continue innovating. I'm not saying no one was worried about it before, but now they're starting to worry, one senior Ukrainian military official said. As we share information with our partners and our partners share with us, the Russians definitely also share with China," the official added. And even if they don't share with China, China monitors events in Ukraine. A web of Russian electronic warfare systems and air defenses menaced Ukrainian pilots, the document said, adding that some Russian jammers also scramble the navigation system of planes. The Russian defense is so dense, the assessment found, that there are no open windows for the Ukrainian pilots where they feel that they are not at gunpoint. Despite some effort to thwart the jamming, potential fixes seem limited until the West delivers F-16 fighter jets, the assessment found. Such modern planes would allow Ukraine's Air Force to push Russian pilots back, enabling the use of different kinds of weapons with greater range and ability to avoid some electronic warfare systems. The aircraft-dropped GBAMs provide another example of declining effectiveness of weaponry. Their introduction in February 2023 was a surprise to Russia, but within weeks, success rates dropped after non-resistance to jamming was revealed, according to the assessment. In that period, bombs missed their targets from as little as 65 feet to about 3/4 of a mile. Ukraine provided feedback about the jamming problem, and the United States and weapons manufacturers delivered improved systems last May, the document said. The guidance systems were more resistant, but Russian forces increased countermeasures over the summer. Hit rates dropped to a low in July. Overall, the hit rate was more than 60% for much of the year. HIMARS launchers were celebrated during the first year of Russia's invasion for their success in striking ammunition depots and command points behind enemy lines. But by the second year, everything ended. The Russians deployed electronic warfare, disabled satellite signals, and HIMARS became completely ineffective, a second senior Ukrainian military official said. This ineffectiveness led to the point where a very expensive shell was used increasingly to strike lower priority targets. The Ukrainian military documents did not assess guided M30 or M31 munitions, which are fired from HIMARS launchers. But in January, Ukraine's military command wrote a policy paper urging Western supporters to provide an alternative, M26 cluster munitions that also could be launched from multiple launch rocket systems. These low-tech, unguided rockets are resistant to jamming, and the cluster submunitions can still hit targets in a wide area even if the shot is imprecise. Kiev still considers its HIMARS rockets effective, but Russian jamming can cause them to miss a target by 50 feet or more. When it's, for example, a pontoon bridge, but there's a 10-meter deviation, it ends up in the water, the first Ukrainian official said. Russian jamming signals are sent up from the ground and form a cone-shaped area. Any guided munition or aircraft passing through is at risk of interference. A battalion commander, speaking on the condition of anonymity because he was not authorized to do so publicly, described flying a reconnaissance drone in foggy conditions last year in Bakhmut to track a HIMARS strike on a Russian position. On his screen, the commander watched in dismay as each rocket missed.